Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and foes. I'm your host, the Zodiac King 3, and today's DBZ Talk, that's the name of this series, by the way, but today's video is the video I hinted at in the last video where I talked about Broly. Now, in that video, I said Broly was tied for being my favorite Dragon Ball Z villain. So, enough with the suspense that I've given y'all, if y'all actually are wondering who my favorite villain is and why he is worthy of a video. But here is the surprise you've been waiting for. The tied person with Broly for my favorite villain is Raditz. Yes, the absolute most hated Dragon Ball Z villain is tied for being my favorite. I'm making a video on this because I haven't heard anyone say Raditz is their favorite villain. So since this is very rare, I thought I'd share it with the community. Raditz is the very first villain for the Z era, aka Dragon Ball Z. So he set the bar for every villain after him. His power is not great anymore, but back then it was unimaginable. Raditz's power is no longer supposed to matter. He was the first villain, meaning every major villain after him is supposed to completely outclass him. So that power thing that y'all mentioned, oh, he's that strong as a Cyberman, it doesn't matter anymore. First villain, who cares? Who cares about his power? Okay. For me, I mainly like his fighting style, some of his specialized blasts, his character design, and his English dubbed voice. Alright, firstly, I will talk about his fighting style. Now, if you were like me and read and watched the Dragon Ball, you will know how people fight and whatnot. Raditz came in and he was completely different from everyone. He completely outclassed Goku and Piccolo like it was completely nothing. Like, we've seen it a little bit in Dragon Ball, but we have not ever seen on the major scale like this. There were only two major instances where Raditz actually almost got completely hurt, and that was Piccolo's first special beam cannon and Gohan's headbutt, other than the killing special beam cannon. So that's what gives him a plus for me. And also, we got the fantastic scene that I love so much when Goku and Piccolo are first trying to attack him, and he's just blocking all their attacks and just talking to him. They did it like in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. They did that part so well. I love Xenoverse for that. Alright, anyway. Secondly, some of his blasts were quite interesting. I'm stuttering. But the most notable, and everybody knows, the double Sunday, which he took off Piccolo's arm. Almost said Goku. His other blasts are just basic blasts, but the way he executed them were special. Like, I actually want to see the blast that he was about to do to Gohan to kill him after the headbutt. Alright. Thirdly, Raditz's design was absolutely perfect. He didn't look too much like Goku, and Bardock, and his Saiyan armor was a very different style of clothing for that era. And him bringing in the new really symbolizes the fact that Z is different, even though it's supposed to be a direct continuation of Dragon Ball, not meaning to be a new series entirely stated by Akira Toriyama. It still happened that way. Now, I'm glad he doesn't look too much like Goku and Bardock, but you can see similarities in there because we all know how it's going to happen. Afterwards, Gohan and Goten are going to look almost exactly like Goku afterwards, especially Goten. But I thought it was a good change that Raditz didn't look like them so much. And finally, his voice for the original Japanese his original Japanese voice is good, but to me, he sounds more menacing and powerful in the Funimation dub. Now, when you compare Japanese and English voices, generally like in Naruto or some cases in Dragon Ball Z, the Japanese dub sounds so much, well, not Japanese dub, The Japanese voices sound so much more powerful than English, but not in the case for Radix. At least for me, he doesn't. He just seems way more perfect. Like the way he looks and everything just looks way better to fit his voice in the English dub. Radix was the perfect villain to start off Dragon Ball, and nobody really could have began the series. Honestly, he wasn't too powerful. He gave Goku more development as a character. He introduced other planets and life, and finally he is a Saiyan. Yes, everyone loves Saiyans. It is my favorite race if we are not including hybrids. I would love a show or manga showing what could have happened if Raditz was like Tarble and wanted to help his brother combat Vegeta and Nappa. Honestly, if I had the talent to make my own manga, I would do that. That sounds like a complete, like, if they were able to make a movie like that, that would be so fantastic. One of my that would honestly be my favorite movie instantly because of that. And I might make Raditz my favorite villain over Broly if they did that. But yeah, that has been my video, and I hope to see y'all next time for the next DBZ talk. As always, I'm your host, the Zodiac King 3, and I'll see you guys later.